fear of being perceived. Whenever I start these videos, I have to tell myself, like, this is just for myself. Like, this is just for myself. Nobody is going to watch this. So be yourself, Jenna. Right. I just want to talk about academic stress and how I'm learning to deal with academic stress. Also, I realize that, like, I do yell sometimes in these videos, but that's because I'm scared that, like, because I don't use a mic, so I'm scared that, like, my voice isn't clear. But then I watch it and I'm like, why the fuck am I yelling? But yeah, so academic stress is real. It's very, very real. And it's hitting me right now. And I want to talk about what I'm learning and how I'm dealing with it. Not to say that, like, I have it figured out, because I don't. But I want to make this video, like, giving tips, but also it's actually just for myself. Like, I'm manifesting these things that I'm about to say to myself. I'm kind of using this as a way of, like, telling myself, like, yeah, like, I got this in the bag, like. And I'm giving this advice for myself also. And I feel like saying things out loud helps you actually, like, hear yourself out, and it helps you actually do the things that you want to do. And it just makes things clearer in your mind. I don't have, like, notes or anything, but, like, this is literally, like, it hit me, and, like, I was like, shit, I need to make a video about this, because I made a realization, you know, like sometimes you just make an insane realization, and I get a lot of those, actually, and it feels good when you have a realization, because you feel like you're growing, you know, like, you feel like you're growing. So, I was actually recording a video before this, but the video before this was for myself, and I was talking about how I do feel like shit in this in this time in my life, but lately I haven't really been, like, I haven't really been able to, like, understand why I feel like shit. But a big part of me feeling like shit is academic stress. And in the video that I was recording right now, and a second ago, I kind of said how, like, I should stop saying, like, I feel like shit. Like, I say it so often, and I feel like I'm too comfortable with saying it that, like, I'm manifesting it, and I'm making myself feel like shit by saying it, so I need to stop saying it. But sometimes I find comfort in saying it, because I'm just, like, embracing that, like, I'm not okay. And, like, sometimes you just have to embrace it and not, like, you know, like, put a fake smile on and be like, oh, like, I'm okay. Like, I know that deep down, like, something is bothering me. I just don't know what it is. I don't know how to, like, put a finger on it. But that's okay. Like, that's normal. And I know that. And I'm coping. Let me drink one second. Something I've noticed about myself is that, like, over the years, like, I figured out ways of coping, and I'm really good at coping. Like, I don't know, like, healthy ways of coping, you know? Not always healthy. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna actually start talking about what I want to talk about. So, I'm in my second year of college, sophomore year, and last year, this shit was easy. Like, my first 2 semesters here, I was like, college is such a joke. Like, this is too easy. Yeah, that didn't last long, actually. But no, it was so easy. It was like, I loved going to class, and my friends didn't understand me. Like, I genuinely, like, I would be sad when class was canceled. I hated the weekends. I'm not joking. when I say this, I hated the weekends because I loved class this much. Class made me feel alive. They made me feel like I had something during the day, and I was in class every single session. I never skipped. I mean, I skipped the classes that I did. Like, there were subjects that I just wasn't that interested in that were like really related to my major that I would skip, but even those I wouldn't skip that much. It's just like coming from being in a mentality of like I hate school. Like, I was really bad at school during my middle school and high school. Like, I'm that student who was slacking all the time, would sleep in class, not do their homework, or copy the homework from somebody else like 2 seconds before class started, late to school every single day, skipping school. Like, when I tell you, I don't know how I graduated with the amount of like absences that I had. I genuinely don't know how I ended up graduating. I failed a lot of exams, but I also failed 2 academic years. Or actually, I failed 3 academic years, but I only repeated 2. So I was that kid. I just wasn't good at, like, I knew that I was capable of it, but in my mind, I had this mentality that, like, everyone is capable of being good at school. So what's the point? Don't take my advice. If you're in school, don't, like, this is how I used to think. And I still believe in the way that I used to think. I understand why I used to think that way. Like, I wasn't putting in the work. It's not that I was stupid, but I somehow made myself believe that I wasn't capable. But even though deep down I knew that I was capable of it, I just didn't want to do it. Part of me was lazy, but part of me also thought that, like, the school system is genuinely insanely messed up, and that it's terrible, and that this is not something worth me caring about. So yeah, I was just that kid slacking in school, but I got through it. And coming to college, like my first year, I was like, oh my god, like, I love college. But anyway, so it was kind of surprising for me because I'm like, oh my god, I'm one of the good kids. Like, I'm one, like, for the first time ever, like, I'm one of the good students. I have a pretty good GPA. And college is different, so like most people's experience is like, yeah, college is better, whatever. But anyway, I noticed that whenever I get like too comfortable with like academic institution, like whether it's school or college, whenever I'm in that same school or college for a certain period of time, or like for like over a year, I start to be too comfortable with it to the point where I'm like, oh, it's okay, like, I have this shit figured out, so I'm not gonna put in as much effort. Like, I don't know how to describe this properly, but like, for example, whenever I would change my high school when I was in high school, because I changed school a lot. So whenever I would change to a different school, that first year for me would always be great. Like, I would do really well. But then later on I would just be like, oh, you know what, I don't care anymore. And part of it is this, like, me being in college, my first year, I was really I was so like afraid of messing up that I had to do everything perfectly. So part of it is that, like, that I think that's why I did so well my first year. Now I'm just like, oh, like, I know how this shit works. Like, I know how Canvas works. I know how, like I don't need to be scared about every little thing. Like, so that's why I end up like slacking. But another thing is, it does actually get harder. Like that's just, you know, people say that, like, yeah, it's true. I feel like college, like, first year, second year, third, fourth, like, it gradually gets more difficult, I think. That makes sense. But okay, I'm not gonna keep talking about why I've been slacking. Part of it is being a student athlete. Well, I'm proceeding to talk about it now, but I mean, being a student athlete, like, I hate categorizing myself as that or as anything, to be honest. But sorry, I'm like a bit distracted. I don't know why I'm like zoning out a little bit as I'm talking. But what was I saying? Right, being a student athlete. Ew, like, I hate saying that. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But I don't know, when you're a part of a team, especially I feel like with running, you tend to overlook how actually hard it is. I don't know why we overlook it, but like waking up at 5:30 a.m. pretty much every single day, and going to like double practice twice a week, that takes so much out of your time, your energy, and everything. And the thing is, like, that on its own can be your life. Like, doing a sport on its own can be your life, and it can fill up your days. It can be a full-time thing, right? And so then you have, but like when you're a student athlete, like then you have the student part, and you have to actually go to class and do all these things. And I think my first year I wasn't taking running that seriously. It was affecting me still. It was overwhelming me a little bit, but my second semester I had an injury and I wasn't running, so it did not affect me that much. And even my first semester, I didn't have like NCAA eligibility for the first half of the semester, so I didn't really feel it as much as I feel it now. But now it's like I'm eligible. I can go to every race. I can't really skip training anymore because I'm not injured or anything. I don't have the excuse to skip training, so I have to be there. And I'm somebody who struggles with sleep, and so when you have to wake up at fucking 5:30 a.m., it's not good for me, because I sleep at like 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m., sometimes I don't sleep at all. And then when I come to explain that to my coach, it's like, well, what can we do? Like, I want to be here, I want to run, but like, yeah, I have terrible sleep. And then it's like, when you have terrible sleep, you end up not being able to do assignments that well because you're so fucking tired. I'm gonna stop cursing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop cursing. You're so tired that you can't even focus on anything. Like, right now as I'm speaking, I literally forgot what I was saying in this moment, and that only happens to me when I don't sleep. I just forget shit. Like I'm talking to my friend and I just like I zone out for a second and I'm like, wait, what are we talking about? Like, that happens a lot, and it's very unhealthy, and I need to sleep better. And all this ramble, and I haven't gotten to my tips yet, but hang in there, guys, hang in there. I'm good. I'm getting there. I love talking. I really love talking. I'm also just like saying what my problems are out loud, so maybe somebody out there relates, maybe, or maybe like I'm trying to figure out what my issues are. I'm so addicted to my phone. I know I said this in one of my videos, but yeah, that shit distracts me all the time. Anyway, we're not gonna get into it, but yeah, I'm really addicted to my phone. And I'm the kind of person who's like, if I'm enjoying something, then I'm gonna let myself enjoy that thing and not do the assignment. So like, if I'm hanging out with friends and I'm having a good time, I'm gonna let myself hang out with them and not do my assignment. Yeah, like if I'm talking to a friend and I have class but we have such a good conversation going on, I'm gonna keep the conversation flowing instead of being like, oh, like I have class. Like, that's the type of person I am. I'll work on it. I know it's probably not a good thing. But yeah, one of my professors said something like she feels that to her time is very fluid, and she doesn't comprehend time. And I love that. Like, that's me. Like, I don't want to know what time it is. I don't want to follow things like by the hour or have a routine. I mean, I love a routine, but I don't like this concept of like I have to be somewhere at a certain time and I can't be late and like blah blah blah. Like no, just float around, go with the flow of things. And yes, it's not always good to be that way because you end up just, not taking anything seriously, but like sometimes that's okay. Like you don't have to take things very seriously. Like I'll still show up to class, I'll still go to training, I'll just be like at least 1 minute late every single time. Like I'll rarely ever be there on time. Anyway, fuck, this video's so long. I'm gonna start giving my tips now. There's a person approaching, so I might get nervous as I'm talking. So number one is realizing that you are slacking, and you don't have to make an effort to realize it. It kind of just hits you. You're like, oh my god, I got a fucking 70 when I used to get hundreds. Like, what's going on? And that was me. I would say last night or 2 nights ago, where I looked at my grades. I've been having a lot of assignments, and I realized that my grades are bad. I'm gonna stop cursing. I realized that my grades are bad, and it made me very upset. And typically when I was in high school and stuff, I would say like, oh, I don't care. But I don't know what it is, but now that I'm in college, I care more, a lot more, mainly because it's such a financial burden to be here. And so any minor like mistake from me, or any like minor step back or setback, it weighs heavily on my chest, it weighs heavily on my shoulders, because I know that like I'm not paying for my tuition, somebody is paying for my tuition, and it makes me feel guilty. So I do care, and that is real. Like that is something that a lot of people go through here. It causes insane anxiety, insane stress, because this shit like matters so much. Every little thing matters, and especially I know people who have scholarships and like they have to be a certain GPA. Like it's so stressful, and it really like affects your mental health a lot. But anyway, I was sitting there and I felt so upset, because I was like, I feel like I have no control over my assignments anymore. They're just like I can't keep track of how many assignments I have, because every day it's so many. And so I just sat there and I was like, why am I letting this happen? Like, why am I not even paying attention to what I have to do until it's like 1 hour before the deadline? Like, and I just started blaming myself, like without even noticing. I just sat there and I was blaming myself. And I remember I really felt guilty, because I had just woken up from like a midday nap, which honestly you would expect after me just telling you that I don't sleep. So I had to take a midday nap because I physically could not take a nap. And it was only like half an hour, but I don't know why I woke up feeling like so confused. And that feeling when you just wake up from a nap and it's not great. And so here's the first thing that I did. I was like, Jenna, number one, you need to get your shit together. Like this is bad. I said to myself, this is really bad. And I knew that this wasn't me. Like I knew that I was able to do better. And it's not even 1 month into the semester. So what I did was, I always like tell myself that like going outside makes me feel better. Going outside really, really helps. So I was like, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna fill up my water, I'm gonna go for a walk. So I go downstairs, and I remember, this is actually the real thing that I wanted to do. And apart from academics, there was a bunch of things I had to do just for being a student, like that I was procrastinating. So one of the things I had to do was like, I had to return this paper for my apartment, like for the RAs, whatever, it's like a housing thing, and I hadn't returned it in so long. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start by little things. I'm gonna return this paper. I have to go to this building that's like right beside my building and whatever. So I go, and not knowing who's gonna be there, turns out my friend Kevin, shout out Kevin, I don't know if he's watching, but he was on shift, and Kevin is such a great guy. I know, like, there's certain people who I've met in college who I know I'm going to remember later on, and he's one of those people. But he has a really good perspective on academics, and he's been through it. He's been through so much. So I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect person to talk to right now. But all this to say that talking to friends or to family or to anyone about what you're going through you scared me. I'm recording a video. Like an hour? Anyway, that was Michaela. Shout out Michaela. I'm distracted. I don't know what I was saying. Right, I was talking about Kevin, and you need to have somebody to talk to about what you're going through, because I was like so in denial that like I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that like I had this problem. So after just sitting there for a second and reflecting, like telling myself like, oh shit, I have a problem, I realized like I really need to talk to someone about this. And I have an insane support system here. What's it called? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, whenever like I'm feeling like this you know, I go to them and I talk about it, and it makes me feel better. And that day, this was literally yesterday. So I talked to Kevin, and we sat there for like 2 hours. Like, he was in his office and I was on the couch, and he was behind the desk, and it felt like a therapy session. And then another RA came in, and she was also giving me advice, and it was just such a, you know, full circle moment. And like, we were like bouncing off each other, like, yeah, like I should do this. And he was like, Jana, like, you got this in the bag, like it's just your sophomore year. And he was like motivating me. He was like you have time to make up for your GPA. Like, it's okay to get a B sometimes, and if you really want to withdraw the class or whatever, like, you can. And they were just giving me like words of wisdom, you know, like two fellow seniors, well, I don't know if he's a senior, but like two fellow non-sophomores giving me words of wisdom. So talking to people helps, okay? Number one. And even after that, I ended up talking to my other friends about it, and they also helped. Like, it was just like I kept talking to people about it, and it was helping me a lot, because as I was talking, I was noticing that like what my problems were and stuff. And it was also just more of like a way of coping, because I needed to hear those encouraging words that like, you got this, like you're gonna be okay and stuff. Like, sometimes you just need to hear that from somebody. Number two was well, today, this is all happening now. I love it. Today, I woke up with this new mindset. Like Jana, you need to lock in. So all these things that you've been procrastinating, you gotta do them. So sometimes it's just like, you just gotta do it. Like, stop questioning it and just do it. So I brought out this really big journal that I have. I don't know, something about this notebook. I had it laying down like on my desk, and I took out this page, and I wrote down a list of to-dos for that day, and having them in like a big handwriting on this piece of paper helped me like see it better. And I realized it's not that many things, but I made a plan for the day. I was like, today you're not gonna skip class, you're gonna go to class, and after class you're gonna do this, and after this you're gonna do this, and after. So I kind of like planned it out, and I was like, please try to study, like please try to do one assignment at least. And so I had this mentality going into the day. So you kind of have to like reset your whole mentality of like, I need to lock in, like, you know. So when I was sitting in my second class of the day, I teared up. Okay, and this is what I'm about to get to. This is what you really should do as your second step, is let yourself feel what you're feeling. Sit with your emotions and let yourself listen to your thoughts. I knew that I was feeling very overwhelmed. So after that class, I went to the bookstore because I had a list of things I wanted to buy. I bought those things, came back to my apartment, and I cried. And it's okay to cry. And I've reached a point where I'm so okay with saying that I cry. I cry a lot. A lot of people have seen me cry. And yeah, I had to sit and cry. I had to really feel like all these emotions. I needed to let it out, you know, for myself. Like not even to anyone, but just to myself. So I did that. I sat there, and it's kind of a form of meditation because I was just sitting there and I was just telling myself like to breathe, and like I was trying to like reflect on how I'm going to be able to like deal with all this like stuff that I have to do. So I just sat there and I talked to myself a little bit in my head and was trying to comfort myself. And I after that, I did some stuff that I needed to do on my laptop. Anyway, what am I trying to get to? What's next? Oh, let's go to step number 3. Come on, let's just guys, you need to buy a sticky notes. Let me pull it out. These things, lifesavers. Actual lifesavers. Not just the physical ones, but even on my laptop I have one, like on my desktop screen, and it just has a list of to-dos. So but what the significance of these ones is that what I do is I hang them around my room. I hang them on the wall, and this way I'll never forget what I have to do, because it's like it's right in front of me. Like I'm sitting there, I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I see is today. I write down the date, like this is what you have to do, you know. And you can use as many as you want. You can use one for each assignment, or you know, sometimes I use it for a grocery list, and I have it there on my wall so that when I go to the supermarket, you know, I know what I want to get because it's there. Like, and so yeah, I use these for everything. I had lost them. That's why I was really like not doing well, because I'm gonna stop doing that. I had lost them, and so today I went to the bookstore and I bought some, and they've been helpful. So just hang them, like write down every little thing that you have to do, and write it in big handwriting, and like so that you can really see it. But yeah, that is a really helpful thing for me. What advice do I have to give? Let me just pause the video for a second. There's so many people passing behind me, and like I see them approaching, and it's making me so nervous. But I'm getting better because I've been like doing a lot of these videos, and so it does get better, but it's still very, very anxiety inducing, and it's happening right now, and yet I'm still talking, really fighting the anxiety right now. Honestly, nobody cares. Like at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit about your little YouTube channel, so you just gotta embrace it. I'm saying that to myself. What other tips do I have? Right, apart from all these little things that you can do to make it better, is the way that you speak to yourself and having like a different mentality. Like I know that one of the classes that I'm in is a class that I don't like, and I thought I was gonna like it, but I don't. And it's okay. Like even though it's related to my major, you don't have to like everything about your major. It's okay. Like every once in a while or every semester, maybe you're gonna have a class that you just don't like, and it's definitely an overwhelming class because it requires a lot of work, and it's work that I'm not enjoying. and that's the main cause of behind my stress. But I told myself like it's okay, and do it in the best way that you can. And I told myself like I gotta talk to the professor. Like that's another thing, like always talk to professors if you're struggling with something, which I'm struggling with the material a lot. I'm struggling to understand it, and so uh, don't feel embarrassed because you're not doing well in a class, and for like don't let that be a reason to avoid talking to your professor. Like your professor wants to help you, so even though it's scary, like I can come here and be like, oh yeah, talk to your professor, but the act of doing it, the act of like walking into that office like, hey, like is awkward. It's very awkward, and you have to sit there and they kind of just look at you and you kind of just look at them, and it's like, what's your problem? Like what do you want to say to me? And you're kind of just there like, what do I say now? But you got it. Like after you say a few words, you exchange a few words, like you kind of get more comfortable, and don't just go one time, go a few times so that you really get comfortable and they can really help you. I haven't went to my professor's office yet about this class, but I am manifesting it. What I did was I wrote down all of my professor's office hours on paper so that whenever I do actually want to go, I know what their office hours are, instead of like, because sometimes I tell myself like, oh yeah, I'll go, but then I don't feel like looking up their office hours, so I just end up not going. But this way, having them on paper all at once, I know like how to organize my time in order to go, because it actually takes like effort out of you to know what your free hours are and what their free hours are, whatever. So yeah, just keep record of what their office hours are, and talk to your professors. Honestly, one big thing also is doing therapy, going to counseling. If there's free counseling services on your campus or whatever, I know these people, go ahead and do that. You know, like it can be very, very helpful. And I've only had one this semester, but it's been helpful, and I'm gonna have one like every other week, and I know that it is helpful. But that's just me. What else is there? It's okay if you miss an assignment, you know, but really try not to turn it into habit. That is my biggest fear, is turning my slackingness into a habit. So if I miss one class, I'm really afraid that I'm gonna get used to that feeling of skipping class, and I'm scared that I'm gonna keep doing it. So there's a very thin line between letting you like being easy on yourself, and then also just being like not doing anything at all, and being like, I'm just gonna miss every single class, I'm gonna procrastinate every assignment. Like there's a thin line, so you have to draw that line for yourself. And this is where like discipline comes into play, and I'm not very good at discipline, I know that, but you have to understand that sometimes you're not gonna enjoy every single thing that you do, and that's okay. You have to do things that you don't enjoy. Like I had to learn that the hard way over and over and over again, and to this day, even though I've learned it before, I'm still messing up. I still have this mentality that like if there's something that I don't like doing, I won't do it well. But to be honest, no. Okay, you gotta do it well. You gotta at least give it a shot at trying to do well, even if you really don't like it. And trust me, you'll get something out of it. And that's the thing, like you'll always get something out of something. Like nothing is going to waste, and like that is a mentality that you have to have. Like you have to convince yourself that like nothing is useless. Like me being in a class that I don't like isn't a useless thing. It's not a waste of time. It's still going to benefit me in so many ways. Even if you're not able to see it in that moment, you're gonna be able to see it later on. Should I stop now? I don't know, like, and honestly, like doing these videos has been really helping me, because like I just end up it's just a way of coping, honestly. So find something that you're able to express yourself in, whether it's journaling, whether it's making these videos, or dancing, or I don't know why I said dancing, but something that you can just express your thoughts in. Like try to have that. You really need to sit with yourself and reflect. like you have to do that, unfortunately. Like, go to your room or go to like a random grass pit and sit in the middle of the grass or under a tree or on a bench and just sit there and think for yourself. Ask yourself like what's going on and try to listen to your thoughts and all that. I don't know if this is helpful, but hopefully it is. Yeah, I'm sure there's more tips out there in the world. I'm sure I have more, but I can't think of them in this moment. And I just wanted to talk about this. I think I'm gonna stop the video now. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you. And goodbye.